Hello. So we're going to continue with the Sacred Traveler Oracle messages because I think that there is something to that, and I'm gonna roll with it because, like I said before, if you've seen any of the other ones, I'll go where the energy takes me as long as it feels good. Speaking of the other ones, I made 3 of these already, and I'll put them in a playlist, but I'm thinking, and maybe I just didn't even consider this, but I'm thinking that whoever would see those videos, like whoever, obviously if you subscribe to the channel, you might have seen all 3. I don't even know how like YouTube works in that sense, but I'm thinking that everybody would just be shown all 3 and you could choose one based on, what I say, like title or your intuition or both. And then I realized that it may not work that way. So, and I feel like also too, part of these messages has been for me to release control even more. I feel like I probably said that in the intro of one of the other videos, but release control, allow things to unfold, exactly how they're going to unfold, because I do struggle with that. Without further ado, let's get into the message. All right. Whoop. So first, we're going to get a few cards from the Sacred Traveler deck. And then we'll pull a couple tarot cards on each one. Joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. I kind of want like one or... No, okay. This is it. That's what I just heard. Again, releasing control. Open your heart to joy. Okay. That is a good amount of cards that came out. So let's see. We have the 5 of Swords. How many? There's 6. That's interesting because usually like in the monthly or like the zodiac human design profile readings, I usually do like 6 cards. We have the Chariot, the Page of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, 4 of Cups, the Fool, 7 of Swords. And then the 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Let me just make sure everything is in frame here. Okay, yeah, looks good enough. You can see everything. This like very much has like a vibe of focusing on the things that bring you joy, or just like light your fire. Because I mean, this looks like it could be a child. They're wearing fairy wings, like very imaginative. Like when you were a kid and you might have like played dress up, and somewhere down the road, we tend to lose that a little bit just because of life. I mean, it could be people shame us out of expressing ourselves in a certain way. But we start with the Chariot. And the Chariot is very in tuned with their star player. Like the Chariot is going to take aligned action forward. I mean, look at them. They're moving fairly quickly. They're not even necessarily holding on all that tight. So there's this confidence aspect to this card. There's a balance between the light and dark, our shadow and our light attributes. There's a balance between them, and it's paired with the 4 of Cups. So this is a card of Cancer. The 4 of Cups is also Cancer. So you could be a Cancer, you don't have to be. That's just interesting that they both are. You could even be dealing with a Cancer. Anyway, the Four of Cups generally talks about boredom, being restless, just not entirely happy with these 3 cups over here, because there are these 3 cups here, yet this person is focused on this 4th cup that has a lotus in it though. So there could be something that you discovered in your life that maybe you weren't satisfied with, or this is something that is coming in, or so many things, or what is blocking your joy or your capacity to welcome joy, feel joy, be joyful, all of the things with joy. And also, like, I just heard in my head, like, is there somebody in your life named Joy? That's interesting. But instead of focusing on the 3 cups, focus on this 1 cup. Like, again, at the beginning I was saying, right, like, it has this energy of like focusing on the things that light us up, that make us feel good. And whatever that is, like, maybe it's reading, maybe it's, I don't know if you heard that ding, but maybe it is reading, but maybe it's embroidery, maybe it's crochet, maybe it's gardening or something to do with plants, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like a job or something that you necessarily monetize, even though there is the energy available to do that. But these 2 cups together, it just has this feeling to me of taking aligned action, because the Chariot, and I don't know if I said this before, I was going to, I just don't know if I did, but they are going to act out of authenticity. Like, it's the only way for the Chariot to be moved forward and to be placed exactly where they need to be placed. If they are just rooted and grounded in their authenticity, like, what is authentic to them? And even with this card, there's that saying that we're only limited by our imagination imaginations. So if we're not even like allowing our imaginations to expand on what is possible, even just what is possible, because that could even be what's going on with this 4 of Cups. Like, there are these 3 cups back here, and they were like, nah, not. But in this cup, this has some potential. This has some possibilities. So this could even be allowing yourself to look at this cup, allowing yourself to be like, you know what? I do deserve what's in that cup. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is like the apprentice of the pages, I should say, or like the apprentices. But it's, the beginner's mindset. Pentacles having to do with our money, it's our time, it's our physical body, also anything tangible, anything monetary, that's in the realm of Pentacles. It's also earth. So again, right, I mean, this could be taking up a new craft. They're sitting in this tree playing that guitar or that instrument. It could be learning a new skill, learning a new trade. There's also these figures that are, if you can see that, hopefully. So again, like, it has this very like divinely guided, divinely protected feel to it. And it could be that this is possible because you made this decision that something that does bring you joy, maybe it's something from your childhood that you just felt like you had to let go of for whatever reason, but now it's like the energy is available for that thing to be a possibility again. And also try it. This could even be investing in yourself to some capacity, which would be, to learn a new skill, to learn a new trade. And then speaking of beginner mindset, we have that paired with a Fool card. I mean, these people, except for Blondie here, but these people could be the same person. And I'm only saying that because they all have dark hair, but they all do look very similar to me anyway. But the Fool is about taking a leap of faith. Even like the ribbons aspect around them. I mean, that could be fabric. It could have something to do with even how you express yourself, like the clothes that you wear, wearing makeup, doing your hair. And maybe that's not something that you focused on very much. Maybe at some point, like it was something that you really enjoyed doing. You really enjoyed trying new things or putting different types of, patterns or fabrics together. Or, I mean, these two figures are wearing very colorful dresses and fabric, right? So this is even about allowing yourself to be seen. But the Fool, like I said, it's taking the leap of faith. There's these butterflies around which are about transformation. And it is very much transformative when you take a leap of faith because you're trusting yourself. You're trusting that the universe is going to catch you and that a path is going to open up. And it always does. Whoops. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which is an offer. This is also the knight in shining armor vibe. I mean, literally, they're wearing shiny armor. This could be a person. Now, it's interesting because these cards all kind of have a vibe, right? And these three cards also have a vibe. So there could be a couple different things happening here. It could be a warning, because this very much feels like a warning to me that, somebody would be coming in presenting as the knight in shining armor. But with that paired with the Seven of Swords, which is generally betrayal, trickery, it's like that armor is made out of like construction paper and spray paint, right? And then with the Five of Swords, I mean, look, like we have this figure, which could be the same figure in all of those other cards. And then this person is walking away with the 3 swords, leaving 2 in their back. So if there is, again, like if somebody does come into your life presenting as this knight in shining armor, just proceed with caution. However, if there is somebody in your life currently that is presenting, because this could even be an apology. This could be somebody coming into your life saying, I've changed, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry about before. That won't happen again. This and that. That's a lie. Because ask them how much therapy they went to. Ask them, like what things did they unpack while they were at therapy. And right, like, and how are you not going to project your unresolved, unhealed shit onto me? Still, right? Because again, right, we have this Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. There's something that right here is just not. I find that to be so fascinating because over here it's like, oh my, there's so much possibility. There's so much to like look forward to, right? And especially like if you have gone through a breakup recently, or if you are dealing with somebody who is in this energy, it's hard to find joy because this person will just suck that shit right out of you. Because these people they have no capacity to feel joy and delight. So the people that are in their lives they won't allow them to feel those things either, especially with like the Five of Swords. And what's also interesting is, you know, behind the Five of Swords, we have the Ten of Cups, we have the Devil, and we have the Hierophant. It's also interesting that the Devil fell on this placement. It's also interesting how this even unfolds here, because what's behind here? The Four of Swords and the Emperor. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Amazing. This is why, okay. This is why, this is why I absolutely love tarot, and I love bringing these messages to you. And I think I said even before, like in the intro, like how these have unfolded so beautifully, because this is so perfect. Okay, let me just get my thoughts together. Let me put my feet back on the ground. Now, this could definitely have to do with relationship. It's interesting, actually, because the two readings that I've done today with the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck, I feel like both of them have been relationship like geared, which I don't traditionally do. I will, of course, if the message comes up and it's like as clear and as, you know, present as it is here, and my nose is like going crazy. But again, right? I mean, we go where the energy takes us as long as it feels good. So this situation with the Chariot and the Four of Cups, and especially with it paired with the Five of Swords, right? Again, swords, and I don't know if I actually even said this, so I apologize. I'm trying to talk too fast. Let me recoup. So the Five of Swords talks about, I always see it as the card of a battle of wits. There's generally another person involved, and it's like, you know, trying to outwit the other person. It's mental gymnastics, swords having to do with our minds and our thoughts. It's also our ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences. This could even be a trauma bond. But this person, it's like they always have to come out on top. Now, that can be a relationship as far as romantic. It could also be a platonic relationship. It could be a sibling. It could be a parent. But it's like, you know, somebody always has to come out on top. And that could be what has maybe even hindered your ability to go towards the things that bring you joy, or go towards even the possibility of something. Right? It's like, it's almost like they manipulated it out of you with the Five of Swords. And then we have the Page of Pentacles with the Fool and the Ten of Cups. This guy is somebody else. This is definitely somebody else than this person, and this person. But what's interesting is that the Five of Swords, this person is walking away. And it's like there's this possibility here for the Ten of Cups, which is, you know, it's family, it's everybody's cup being full, it's being able to share your love with other people. So it can also even be about community, and family, of course, can be chosen. It can be biological. I mean, we have this couple with this child here. And especially with the Fool card, there's like, by getting over this thing, this guy over here, the energy is available for somebody better to come in, more aligned for you, because they are like in their own authenticity, their own alignment. It's like, you know, when you're authentic, you set off that beacon, right? Just like an energetic beacon. And unfortunately, narcissists, like they just pick up on that stuff and they're able to kind of metamorphose into what they think you want. And they do it so well. It's also interesting that there's these lotuses. I mean, I know that it's probably because it's cups and there's probably lotuses on all of the cups cards. But it's almost like, especially with this 10 of cups on these two cards, it's like this is the possibility. That could even be the dream. That could be like, I think I was saying, I'm not sure if I actually did, but it's like the energy would be available here by taking this leap of faith. And maybe that leap of faith is just releasing this, returning to joy. And like I said, it was so interesting that the Devil card is on these two cards, because the Devil card is about the things that control us. It talks about obsession. There's this figure sitting under this tree, very, kind of Eve vibes. But then there's this person back here and they're playing whatever that instrument is. But it's like, it's something that just keeps you under somebody's spell. This is a card of Capricorn. There could be a Capricorn involved. There doesn't have to be. And with the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck, it could be some sort of like guilt. Like somebody controls you by making you feel guilty or making you feel shame. And I'm just saying that because the Catholic guilt thing, I was raised Catholic. I'm no longer Catholic, but that's just like what was coming to mind was the Catholic guilt thing. And the Hierophant talks about traditional institution. It can be marriage, it can be divorce. It could also be education, learning something new. We have all these different symbols around this wall or this window, and those are all different modalities. So it's also about ancient knowledge. It could be passing on knowledge. You could be receiving some sort of counsel or advice based on old teachings. It could even be a spiritual practice. And then what's interesting is, so behind the Hierophant, we have the Four of Swords, which is healing. It's allowing yourself to rest in order to heal. We have the Empress and then the Emperor behind the Seven of Wands, which is kind of interesting too. This reading is going to be so long. I apologize. I hope that's okay. I'm like, we can't stop until it feels complete. But it's interesting because, okay, so the Empress is about, it's the divine feminine energy, right? It's not necessarily the gender, but it's the energy of feminine. So, flow, intuition, receiving. She's pregnant, which, there could be something to do with reproduction, but pregnancy in the tarot generally talks about fertile opportunities and abundance. It's like reproducing abundance. There's butterflies here, which is about transformation. There's another lotus down here. There's even apples on here, which, I don't know. Is this an apple tree? I don't know. They're red and they're round, so I'm calling them apples. But even, look at the difference here between being in the energy of the Devil and under control in some capacity to being the Empress. So there could even be some level of healing going on in respect to the Hierophant. And like I said, that would include marriage, that would include divorce. It could be a breakup, of course. It doesn't necessarily have to involve strictly marriage or divorce. It could just be releasing, even like a soul contract is coming to mind. And then what is also interesting is the Seven of Wands. So I didn't even see, when I was looking under the deck before, I didn't even see the Seven of Wands. So I think that's, you know, a message within itself, because I thought we went from the Empress to the Emperor, and I was like, oh my gosh. But with the Seven of Wands being here, it feels like the Seven of Wands is actually protecting you from the Emperor in some capacity. I mean, this could be having to go no contact. But the Seven of Wands generally talks about standing your ground. You know, it's defending something that you're doing. It's defending the actions that you've taken, defending something that you are very passionate about. And the energy of the Emperor is confidence. It's the divine masculine. So again, it doesn't have anything to do with the gender. It does not have to be. But, you know, the divine masculine is about initiation, giving, you know, pushing through, making something happen. This is somebody that's an authority figure and a leader. So this could very much be an energy that you are going into. Like, first you're going to be this Empress, and you're going to have to be in that energy for a little while before you become the Emperor. And the Wheel of Fortune is about your luck changing. Things are changing for the better. And then we have the Moon, which to me is just, you know, I mean, we're going to stop there. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles was behind the Moon, which is, you know, I mean, it's individual success, financial independence, you know. I actually had to stop the video for a little while. So, if things if things look moved around, I also wanted to mention too that this Knight of Cups and Seven of Swords combo, the Seven of Swords to me is also the card of us fooling ourselves. It's self-sabotagey, you know, it's like allowing those shame stories or, like I was saying with the ego, like allowing the stories that we have attached to experiences to get in our way, to the point of not allowing ourselves to experience a thing differently. And I say that because if there is this Knight of Cups coming in, and if he or she is not a wolf in sheep's clothing, basically, right? Because I feel like it's like very much two different scenarios. I very much feel like the story, the path that we were taken on before that we just talked about is very much for somebody that's maybe not even for a lot of people. It might be, but this, what I'm going to be talking about, is definitely separate from that. So I just kind of want to make that distinction, because there could be somebody new coming in, and it would be somebody who is in alignment with you, or at least more so, more importantly, in alignment with themselves. You are in alignment with yourself. They are too. And it's like, you know, real recognizes real type of thing. And the Seven of Swords would be you or them not allowing yourself to explore this based on prior stuff, based on the inability to open your heart and feel joy. And I mean, this doesn't even necessarily have to be a person. It can be an experience. It can be any type of like invitation or offer that comes into you, and it would have an emotional attachment to it because it's cups. So it would either make you have an emotional reaction to it, or, you know, I mean, like it's something that you love or something along those lines. But then it's like ego kicks in and you kind of immediately shut it down. And it would be based on old stuff. with this Five of Swords. And with this Five of Swords, looking at it through this lens, it's like this person, whoever it was, whether in this depiction, that's a male, but you know, I mean, it doesn't have to specifically be a dude that did this to you, you know, obviously take it as it resonates, but it's like somebody took something from you energetically. It could have just been mind games, like I was describing with the Five of Swords before, right? That battle of wits where somebody has to come out on top. But this is how it left you feeling afterwards, right? But then it's like to be in this energy would be to deny yourself this possibility. And this is your heart open and full of joy. This is joy and delight. And it's interesting then, you know, that we have this Devil card behind it, because look at these, you know, 3 cards. And right in the middle, this could be the dream. This could be the goal. But on either side, it's like giving your power away to whoever or whatever this situation is. And however that lives in your mind. Because that's what swords are all about. How do these experiences, how do these feelings live in our minds? And how does that affect our reality? How does that affect how we interact with people or allow ourselves to feel joy or be open to this possibility? The devil won't let you be open to that. And then it's also interesting to me, again, from this lens, that we have the Hierophant coming right after the devil, because this is almost, to me, this feels like an exorcism. I'm not kidding. It's like exorcising that demon within you, within your head. I'm not saying that you are possessed by any means. Please don't take it that way. But I'm just seeing it in the sense of like cleansing yourself of these like chains that hold you back. I mean, we all have them in some capacity, right? I mean, it happens to everybody just by life happening. But the Hierophant, in this capacity, like I said, it feels very much like some sort of exorcism. And that can be through some sort of like healing modalities. That can be through, you know, breath work or meditation or something along those lines. And then the Four of Swords, giving yourself time to rest, especially after going through that. And then coming out this beautiful butterfly of the Empress. You know, it's like getting your power back. Protecting your peace almost is what I heard with this. Getting your power back, the Wheel of Fortune. You know, like things changing. I think on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.